Hey, what's up guys, I'm Styler, and in this video I'm going to review the Doogee Mix 2 in gold. In this video I'm not going to praise nor hate on this phone, you simply have to form your own opinion from what I tell and show you in this video. So without any further ado, let's start the video. The Doogee Mix 2 follows the new trend and comes with a big 5.99 inch 18:9 LCD IPS display, which is perfect for YouTube, movies and games. It is clear what it tries to imitate, but even though it is called Mix 2, it has very little in common with the original Xiaomi Mix 2. In my opinion, it more looks like something between a typical Chinese smartphone, the Samsung S8 and the Xiaomi Mix 2. With the phone you get all the usual stuff, like a standard wall charger with 5V 2A, a standard black USB Type-C cable, one thin screen protector for the front, a nice thin black cover which has a matte and very nice soft finish to it, a typical standard quick start guide, 3.5mm headphone jack adapter that can be used with the USB Type-C port, and last a SIM tray pin and a USB Type-C to micro USB adapter. So we have the MediaTek Helio P25, which is an octa-core CPU clocked at 2.5 GHz. A non-removable 4060 mAh battery. We also have 6 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. Out of this internal storage we have around 49 GB left, but you also have the option to install a micro SD card, which then will take up one of the nano SIM slots. I also noticed that the tray goes a bit deeper into the phone than the frame, which shows that the finish could be better. The phone is very solid and the back of the phone looks great, especially in this clear gold color, which is very reflective. Out of the box it came with a pre-installed screen protector on the front and back. The back is made of Corning Gorilla Glass, so it is resistant against light scratches. In the top we have a dual LED flash, which is very strong, a round 360-degree fingerprint sensor, and a dual rear camera setup with 16MP, which according to Doogee is supported by a secondary 13MP sensor, which also just could be a marketing gimmick. On the front we have two 8MP front cameras with face beauty, wide angle and mono mode, the ear speaker which delivers average and loud sound, light and proximity sensor, but no kind of notification LED, which in my opinion is really a shame. The 18:9 LCD display is on 5.99 inch with the resolution of 2160 by 1080 pixels, also known as Full HD+. The phone doesn't feature any capacitive hardware buttons, so for the navigation you in the bottom find some standard on-screen buttons, which also can be hidden, and if you double tap home it can turn off the display. The quality of the front camera is good and it supports zoom, wide angle, face detection and face beauty. Under good lighting conditions it can shoot pictures with okay detail and sharpness, while in low light the detail will be much lower, but still acceptable for fun snapshots. Regarding the front dual camera setup, this is real as one is for the wide angle while the other one is for normal pictures. The 5.99 inch display is great and one of the highlights on this phone, but you may notice that there is a thin black border around the display, and I would say that the thickness of the side bezels are very average. Sharpness and display colors look nice, with very deep blacks, and the viewing angles are good with no back bleeding. Regarding the screen sensitivity, I haven't experienced any ghost touches or problems. The touch panel is smooth and can register up to 10 touches at the same time. In the settings you can swap the on-screen back and recent buttons. We find mirror vision for the display. There are smart motion features like flip to silence the phone and answer by swing. 3-point screenshot, 2-point slide to adjust the volume, and double tap home to lock. One-handed mode, which can be activated by sliding over the on-screen buttons. Fast capture mode, which can record or take pictures while the display is off. And then we have the normal fingerprint settings and something called face unlock, so you can unlock the phone just with your face. In the fingerprint settings you can also set the fingerprint sensor to do various things when you tap or long press it. That could for example be answer a call, go back, return to home, take a photo and much more. The rear fingerprint sensor works fine as long as you actually hit it correct. There is a small edge around it, so sometimes you may not place your fingerprint correct and then it can fail. But as long as you touch it correct, it unlocks in around 1 second. I mean, sometimes it can actually be a bit faster while other times a bit slower. So it's not the fastest to make an unlock. However, this is very normal on most budget China smartphones in this price class. Okay, let me also now demonstrate the face unlock. So here you see this symbol that indicates that the face unlock feature is activated. I will just let it check my face and then you see it unlocks. This does actually work for me 8 out of 10 times, but one complaint is the speed, which could be much better because currently it is kind of slow. The phone is missing a real 3.5mm headphone jack, and that's why Doogee included a small 3.5mm headphone jack adapter for the USB Type-C port. So in the top we only find the SIM tray and some antenna lines. The phone weighs 215 grams and is 8.6mm thick, so it's not the lightest or slimmest, but the heavy metal frame feels like solid quality. The power button and volume keys are also made of metal. They are thick and responsive and placed on the left side. In the bottom we have 2 antenna lines. We find a single speaker, a microphone and a USB Type-C charging port. The speaker sounds flat with no bass and could also be louder, but I have experienced that on many budget phones like this. The phone supports USB on the go. While it is kind of missing fast charging, the included wall charger is only on 5V 2A, which is not a real fast charger. In my test with the included wall charger, I was able to charge 25% in 30 minutes and 65% in 75 minutes. So it's not completely slow to charge, but also not what I would call fast charging. However, the big built-in non-removable 4060 mAh battery gives good battery life, and the screen on time is on 8 to 9 hours. So 1 full day is possible with normal usage and 1.5 days with light usage. Here you see some info from the factory mode about the camera. Officially the phone has totally 4 cameras, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. When I say officially, I mean that is what the manufacturer Doogee says. But one of the rear cameras could in fact just be fake, but I have no real way to prove that. In low light pictures turn out quite bad, while under good lighting conditions it is possible to shoot some decent pictures with the main camera, but it is very often a hit or miss because of the rubbish autofocus, which is very slow and sometimes it doesn't autofocus at all. The quality is of course not on level with more expensive flagships. For this price range, however, when it does the focus right, it can shoot some okay pictures. The dual camera setup is in my opinion just pure marketing and a gimmick, as I couldn't find any real evidence for that both cameras actually work together. Just like on most other dual camera China phones under $250, the blur mode creates a circle around the focus point and blurs everything outside of it, and if you overdo it, it will look very fake. Another very annoying thing that I found is that in video mode it keeps trying to autofocus every time you move, so you will have it hunting for focus all the time, which makes videos look rubbish. Regarding the GPS, it surprised me a bit, because it works really well on this phone. It has support for cloners, the lock and fix is fast, and the signal reception very strong with an accuracy down to 1 to 2 meters. As for the sensors, it has a lot of them built in, and things like gyroscope, e-compass, accelerometer and proximity sensor works perfect, which means that 360 VR videos and compass will work without any issues. Moving on to the performance. In the battery settings you can enable a special sports mode to boost the performance. The CPU used in this phone is in the middle class, so the score is average. In Antutu it scores close to 68,000, which is very normal for a MediaTek Helio P25. 3D games like Asphalt 8 run smooth in high settings, with almost no frame drops, so it's fully playable, and I really enjoyed gaming on this phone. Regarding heating, it does get warmer after a longer time of use, especially around the fingerprint scanner. It can get up to 40 Celsius degree, but still nothing you need to be concerned about, as it still runs stable. The phone is using Android 7.1.1 with OTA support. The launcher is very close to stock Android and supports app shortcuts. It only comes out of the box with the Google apps pre-installed, so free of any kind of bloatware. The network connectivity is fine on this phone, and it can connect to 2G, 3G and 4G with dual slot 3G functionality. And of course we also have support for LTE band 20 and average dual band Wi-Fi with support for 2.4 and 5 GHz, where the download speed was on about 65 megabits, where my ZTE Axon 7 in comparison gets around 120. With the latest YouTube app you can play video smooth in 1080p at 60 frames per second and also zoom in all normal videos, so you can use that full 18:9 display. Now to my final conclusion. The Doogee Mix 2 is a big solid phone. The highlight is definitely the beautiful big 18:9 Full HD Plus display. It has good 3D gaming performance, many important built-in sensors, long battery life and a nice GPS. That being said, it does also have some bad sides. I didn't really like the sluggish main camera and the fake dual camera setup. The phone is very heavy and thick. The fingerprint and face unlock works but could be a lot faster. And the flat quality of the bottom speaker is really disappointing. Bottom line is that I wouldn't buy or use this phone myself. I'm more into quality brands like Xiaomi, OnePlus, ZTE or Huawei. But for some out there who don't want to spend that much on a smartphone and just want a fancy design with a big nice screen, it may just be good enough. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching this video and I hope to see you in my next one.